Okay, I have to tell you first of all, I've literally sat here just smiling like this, just while I've been getting set up, just smiling like this because what is this? It is the very first Premier League preview of the 2020-21 season, and it's Liverpool versus Leeds United. Oh my God, can you believe how quickly this season has obviously come around? Now, obviously, we know everything that's gone on with the pandemic and everything like that. That has changed the whole scheduling of the next season entirely. Obviously, things are starting a little bit later, maybe even a lot later, let's be honest, than we would normally start. But we kick off with a firecracker of a game. As a Liverpool fan, and obviously as the champions of last season, we want to come out with a bang, and we have to come out with a bang if we're going to take on Leeds United. Now, what I want to start this video off with is a comment that was on my last video, which was about learning about Leeds United. What were they going to bring to the Premier League? And I really appreciate this comment as well, and I think it's important because it's going to let us see a bit more. As I said in the previous video, I am no expert on Leeds United, and I don't pretend to be. But this comment was very, very good. I'm going to read the whole comment in its entirety, so I may not be looking at the video, but I want you to listen to it, and I want you to just take in what was being said here. So the comment comes from someone called Lee Smith. I really appreciate your comment as well. Fantastic comment, and it was exactly what I was looking for someone that's much more knowledgeable about Leeds than I am. So let's go into this one right here. So first off, I'm just going to read the whole comment. First, Bielsa is extremely humble and he only talks football. You never hear him criticise a referee. If it doesn't work, then it's his fault. So I assume that would mean if something doesn't work in the game or a tactic or a result doesn't come off, he takes the blame himself, and I respect that. We were talking in the previous video about were Leeds gonna do a Norwich, or were they gonna do a Sheffield United as well? So this is just to give you context for some of the comments. Second, Norwich, they were promoted one season too soon. They kept the cash to clear their debts and prepared to win the championship this year with a financially stable club. That actually makes a lot of sense, and yeah, I understand that. That's really good. Understand to run a club in the championship financially is so hard. 100k for a home game on TV or 10k to the away team versus $1 million in the Prem. Didn't know that actually. Sponsorship is more than 10 times the amount of cash, and you can only lose 39 mil over a 3-year period. First year relegated team receives nearly 50 mil before they sell any players, so the other teams have to lose money to compete. Hence Norwich last season, no comparison to Leeds. We are financially sound. Leeds cost 50 million to buy 3 years ago. We just got a check for 100 million to start playing in the Prem. You cannot imagine what that's like. Maybe another 40 mil later, so it's a huge step up. Sheffield United is the best example. We have 2 years playing the same system. It does not surprise us to see our left back scoring from the right wing position. Just wrap your head around that for a second. Literally, that just caught me. I was reading that then. To see our left back scoring from the right wing position. Okay, that's got me interested. That has really piqued my interest. I like that. This league has never seen football like this before. We've been educated over 2 years now as fans and feel like we knew nothing about football before Bielsa arrived. Our downside is most of our team are mid-table championship players, at best under any other manager. Our league positions prove this. Bielsa is something else, and we truly feel blessed every game we have him with us. Never in my history have I felt such adoration for a manager. And I'll tell you this, from my perspective as a Liverpool fan, I feel exactly the same about Jurgen Klopp. Obviously, I'm not old enough to have remembered our legendary managers from yesteryear, but I guarantee you, like the vast majority of Liverpool fans, we can relate to how you're feeling about Bielsa. Exactly the same as how I feel about Jurgen Klopp. He is hands down the best signing that we've made in the last 5-6 years. Hands down. I don't care what anyone says. Jurgen Klopp's the best thing to happen to Liverpool that I've seen and that I remember in my lifetime. Anyway, I'll go on. You will love watching us play. We haven't got the top quality yet to show how good this system could be with your top players, but even with what we've got, we are going to run teams into the ground. I think own goals were second highest contributor to goals last year, just from our constant press. Our one touch is incredible sometimes from championship players. Wait until you see our magician, 35-year-old Pablo, 35 and fitter than Milner. Well, I mean, that takes some doing. Yeah, hey, And being a Leeds man himself, Milner, that's quite something. Anyway, it's great to be back, and I'm going to enjoy this season so much. I know you're going to love watching us play. I'm excited for the world to see these guys run. I expect a battering or two. It's inevitable, but pretty sure we have enough to be better than 7 to 8 Premier League teams at the moment. Roll on Saturday and let the games begin. Now, he apologised and said, sorry, I waffled, lol, MOT, which I believe is their motto of marching on together. Listen, never apologise for a comment like that, because that was a fantastic comment that really got the cogs in my brain working. Really just gave me much more appreciation for what Leeds are actually doing and what they're capable of doing as well. I highlighted a couple of things in my video, but it was nowhere near the depth of this comment, and I really do. I can't thank you enough for it, honestly. I loved it. It was fantastic, and if anyone ever wants to write big, long comments, please do feel free. I will read them. I don't get many comments, so I guarantee you I will be reading them, and I'll try and respond to you as well, and even address it in a video, because this is perfect. Building into Liverpool versus Leeds United. You're taking on the champions of the Championship to the champions of the Premier League. This is going to... I personally feel that, and someone said to me, maybe you are giving a bit too much respect for a team that has just got promoted when you're worried about the game. I worry about the game because I know Liverpool, just like this guy quite clearly knows Leeds. He knows his team pretty much inside and out, and he has a very, very big appreciation of it. Not only just highlighted all the good things, highlighted some of the negative things as well. Like the mid-table, players and such like that. I know Liverpool. I know that we can go out there, and if we wanted to, we can go and blast teams away. We can keep clean sheets, score a lot of goals, and if we do stuff like that, then hey, it's fantastic to watch. I also know Liverpool that sometimes if they're not completely switched on, it doesn't always go to plan. I've seen in recent times when we've really struggled to break down teams like Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, and really trying to break down those Arsenal teams, and we're trying the same things. We are trying to absolutely just pummel them and pummel them and pummel them, and it's not happening. What I believe you're going to see in this game between Liverpool and Leeds, you're going to see two attacking teams. Liverpool aren't going to sit back. Marcelo Bielsa has also come out and said he will not change his style for what he has said is the greatest team in the world right now. And that's his words, not mine. Obviously, I love my team. I think we're the best. But, hey, it's nice to hear someone else say it. Every single word I've heard out of Marcelo Bielsa's mouth is some of the most respectful stuff that I've heard from a manager in a long time, from like an opposing manager. He has such a deep respect, it would seem, from the outside looking in, for just the game of football in general. So when he's looking at other teams and stuff like that, so maybe when he's looking at Liverpool, he's looking at what we do, and then he's looking at what his team does as well. There may be some similarities, obviously, the high pressing that both teams do. Whether Liverpool do it a bit more aggressively, and obviously, everyone knows how we're going to set up, and we're going to have our defenders on the halfway line, if not a little bit further forward as well. Everyone knows that that's pretty much what's going to happen. And we're going to press very, very aggressively. Whereas I think that Leeds, from what I'm gathering, Leeds do press, and they press very highly and very, very well as a compact unit. Or maybe not even compact, just as a unit in general. But maybe not with that same level of aggression. And they seem to maybe... What you sometimes get with Liverpool's aggressive press is sometimes a little bit of a lack of control. That when Liverpool lose the ball, it can sometimes take a little bit of a time to get that ball back, or we really have to snuff out a dangerous counter-attack. That is possibly where Leeds could exploit us a little bit. They've also got a brand new forward in Rodrigo, signed from Valencia, a club record fee. And he is going to be a very dangerous striker. Make no mistake, he's going to be very dangerous, very quick, very pacey, can get in behind defences as well. And with the chance creation that Leeds have, and that they will possess, and as Lee says in his comment about Pablo, I think that's Pablo Hernandez. I do believe, if I'm right, he used to play for Swansea, but I might be wrong in that one. He's a very, very key player, if not one of the key players in their attacking build-up, and everything that goes through him or in and around him But what really piqued my interest here, I need to go back to this comment where it said it was something about he didn't find it strange to have a left back scoring from the right wing position. So I don't really know how. I'm trying to picture it in my head, like if Liverpool did it, and I can't imagine Robertson on the right hand side of our. I can't imagine Robertson in Salah's position or something like that. I just can't imagine it. But I'm really excited for this game. I'm really excited for the Premier League to come back. You can probably tell in my tone of voice and just the look on my face as well. I haven't smiled like this in a long, long time, and I'm really excited to see it come back. Now, let's get into some normal, Premier League preview stuff in terms of lineup. Now, Liverpool, in my opinion, need to go with a 4-2-3-1. It will help us defensively. It will help us going forward. Some people are really negative about it because they believe it will take, you're taking an attacking player that would normally be on the bench and now you're putting them on the pitch with the other attacker. So I think what they were alluding to here was having Bobby Firmino and Minamino on the same pitch, or having Bobby and Origi at the same time and not having them as an option from the bench. I don't see that as a negative because I see it as, bang, 4-2-3-1. Say if you have not Bobby Firmino, you have Fabinho and say Gini Wijnaldum as your holding players, or Jordan Henderson if he's ready to come back, or whoever else you want to put next to him, Naby Keita and Fabinho. Naby Keita would be awesome, actually. I'd love that. If we don't play him as like a number 10 sort of role. You have two players helping out that defence. Because of how we play, Trent and Andy Robertson are just going to be bombing up and down, but mostly up the pitch, creating and attacking as well. So then you're going to be left with two centre-backs, sometimes, depending on where they are, the centre-backs that split as well. So they are trying to, you almost open spaces. Now, if you have two defensive midfielders, or number sixes, as they would be called, the Fabinho, Naby Keita, Gini Wijnaldum, whoever, it would help out that defence as well. It would give them a little bit more protection, is probably the right word that I'm looking for. Then, when we go and look at the attack, and you have the options of having a Sadio Mane, a Minamino, maybe just in behind, Bobby Firmino up front, Salah on the right-hand side, with each of these players being able to switch in between positions. So you could find Mane on the right-hand side, Salah on the left, Salah up front, Bobby Firmino dropping back, Minamino. You could have a lot of different crossovers and different movements between these players that could absolutely cause havoc for the Leeds defence, or for any defence as well, not just Leeds. I think that the 4-2-3-1 is going to be the best thing that we can do this season, and it will also give us tactically something else to go into games with. Take 38 games out of the Premier League season last season. I'm pretty sure out of every single game, if not all of the games, 4-3-3. 4-3-3. I could name probably our most used lineup in the 4-3-3 last season because we pretty much used it all the time. Being able to go into the 4-2-3-1, maybe switching into a 4-3-3, having some different tactical movements that we only ever used to move to when we were losing. Well, we used the 4-2-3-1 2 seasons ago, in the season that we won the Champions League. We used it very early on, before Joe Gomez got an injury. We used it really early on because it got us clean sheets and we were winning games. And we saw the best out of Shaqiri as well at that point as well, who is still an option. There's still these options as well for Liverpool. Now, in terms of starting lineup, I'm fine. 14 minutes in and I'm getting to the starting lineup. I apologise, but there was a lot of things that I wanted to cover in this first Premier League preview. Starting lineup, I believe, barring any injuries, and I don't think that there is any in what I'm going to be putting forward, is Alisson in goal, Andy Robertson left back, Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez as your centre-backs, Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side, Fabinho. I want to say Gini Wijnaldum. I don't know really what's going on. Apparently he's held some positive talks with Jurgen Klopp. Not much more I can say about that, but there's not a great, a lot of detail in the article that I read about it about 20 minutes ago. But he's apparently had positive talks with Jurgen Klopp, which can only be a good thing. I'd like to say Gini Wijnaldum can come in. If Jordan Henderson's fit, I'd love to see him in there, which whether he's ready to play a game back yet, whether he's fit from his injury that he's had. So I want to say it's going to be Fabinho and Naby Keita. Now, some people might think it's a little bit weird, but I think that having those two combining as your sort of defensive midfielders, but you know that Liverpool can move their players around freely in the play, Naby Keita will be able to carry that ball forward, and maybe Fabinho can sit just a little bit further back, something like that. Then into the forward line, I pretty much gave it away before. Mane, Minamino, Salah and Bobby Firmino as well, with all of them being able to rotate. I feel that is a very, very strong lineup. And I want to look at this game very fairly. I don't care that Leeds United just got promoted. To me, they come up and offer something different that no other team really will, in my opinion. Not just from this guy's comment as well, this very, very awesome comment that he left on the previous video. I just personally feel that this is going to be a tougher game than people expect. I really do. And I said it in the previous video, learning about Leeds United. They're going to cause problems for every team. I know that this guy, this fan of Leeds, has said maybe 7 or 8 Premier League teams that they would be better than. I would argue there'd be more, maybe 10, 11, 12, that they have the potential to be better than, if not a little bit more. They will certainly cause problems for every single team. Absolutely no doubt or no question about that. It's going to be a difficult game, whoever comes up against Leeds. I really believe it. Absolutely believe it. For that reason, I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think Liverpool are going to keep a clean sheet. And I think it's going to be tight. I agree. There was another comment on the video as well that said it was going to be maybe 2-1 to Liverpool. And that's sort of where I'm leaning. And some people might think, oh my God, I mean, we blasted Norwich 4-1 last season. Different teams. Honestly, I don't think that people really understand what could be coming from Leeds. Like, I can't remember the last time that we played Leeds. I really don't. I just remember redonkulous volleys being scored against us. Oh my God. Those were years ago. And always in Premier League highlights of best goals ever scored against Liverpool. Always. But no, I think Liverpool will win the game. I think we can win the game. In my head, I'm sort of leaning towards a draw that reads 2-2. But my heart says it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. And I'm going to stick with my heart. I'm going to go 2-1 for Liverpool. And I cannot wait to see this game. I cannot wait to see the Premier League kick back off and just see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments below about all of this. I know it's a longer video than most and longer video than I plan to ever have them in the future. But let me know what your thoughts are about the Premier League coming back, about Liverpool facing Leeds United, and what are we going to get from Leeds. Let me know it in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe. If you're new around here, please do feel free to get your comments in below. I always like to try and hear from you guys as well. But for now, I'm going to get out of here and I'll catch you later.